All right, guys, got my boy Turtle Quirk with me, and we're going to be talking about Sukuna, Prime Sukuna, Full Power Sukuna, basically the main Sukuna that we never got to see because, in my opinion, he was just too strong for his own series. That's right. I mean, every time we see Sukuna fight or do anything, it is never at his full potential. Believe it or not. Never once have we seen Sukuna in real time, or really even in the past, at his full absolute power because he's just too freaking strong. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I kind of agree. I mean, I guess there was that one flashback where he was like fighting, what was it called? Like the Sun and Moon Squad or something like that?
Yeah, it was the Sun, Moon, and Stars Squad, the Fujiwara clan forces.
Yes.
But we just see that one still image. It's not even like a typical like flashback drawn like it was actually happening. It was more like a mosaic or something of just showing us what he could have been. And that's it. It's unfortunate because he is so interestingly powerful that I don't know why we didn't even get a glimpse of it or a flashback. And if you guys had followed my coverage of the series as it was happening, you know, every other video I was talking about, man, when are we going to get that Heian era flashback? When are we going to get to see stuff? And we did kind of get Heian era flashbacks here and there, especially with Sukuna and Yorozu, but that's it.
Well, I was just saying, like, yeah, we got like a couple glimpses here and there, but we never see him actually like just letting loose and actually, you know, killing people like he used to do. And also, we never see him eating people. Like, we know that he's a cannibal. Like, that's been mentioned a couple times, but we never actually see that really happen, do we?
The only time we see it is when he, like, bites off Angel's arm. And that, like, raises the question of, like, how does he even do that? I'm getting, like, PTSD from, like, me reviewing this chapter and talking about Sukuna and, like, how many things weren't explained about it. Like, how is he altering his head to like do that? Why does his face have that one side to it? Why does he have four arms? Why does he have the mouth and the stomach? I mean, we know that he ate his twin in the womb, but like, how did he alter his body? So I had a theory. And you know how Naoya was killed by Maki's mom, and because she killed him with like a normal knife, didn't have any jujutsu with it, he became a cursed spirit. Yeah. But like the process of him becoming that is like a whole thing in itself. And it's possible that Sukuna purposely did something like this, but before he fully became a cursed spirit, he was like able to stop it midway or something and then have this form or something. Because other than that, I just don't know how to explain why he has that eye thing on the side of his face. I don't want to get sidetracked by that. But the other thing that we see in that flashback that you were talking about when he's fighting against the Sun, Moon, and Star Squad is he has those two weapons. Yeah. So the Kamutoke, which we actually did get to see for one single chapter, it was recreated by Yorozu using her like final construction ability on her deathbed. So Kamutoke basically just gives him the ability to like shoot lightning. It's like a cursed tool, fires lightning. That was cool.
It was cool, but you know what? The funny thing about that is like, it's been 1,000 years since he's used this thing. He finally gets it back, and then he uses it against the one person who's resistant to it, against Kashimo, who is like, you know, electricity doesn't really affect him. I thought that was kind of ironic.
Exactly. Goes back to him just being too strong for the series, because if he were to just start zapping the other sorcerers with that, they'd be done. Yeah. And then, of course, that thing gets confiscated by Higuruma. We never see it again. Where did it go? Where do things...
But you know what? You know, I kind of think Sukuna was lucky that happened, though. Because imagine, we all expected his curse technique or something to be confiscated of, like, more value, you know? Like, if they took away his cursed energy or his cursed technique, that would have completely changed the fight. He could have lost a lot earlier. So I think he was kind of lucky, actually, that happened.
He was lucky for sure, but the audience, not so much, because we were robbed of the Kamutoke's potential. But that's not even the biggest thing here. It's his other weapon called He-10. It's like that trident spear staff thing that he has. We know nothing about that. We don't know its abilities. We don't know how he got it. If it's even a cursed tool, we can assume it's a cursed tool because why would Sukuna not use a cursed tool? But it's like, wow, Sukuna, with just what we know of him in his, final sequence in the series where he's fighting against everyone after Gojo dies, when we get to see his full body come to fruition, which also, let me point out, is him just kind of using Megumi as a vessel. Like that's not even like what Sukuna's like full true body actually is. It's just kind of like a recreation from his 20 fingers, I guess. Oh, 19, because the last finger was used by Yuta to replicate his technique. He kind of just ate his own skull
To compensate.
to compensate for that, which I don't think is truly giving him the full 20 finger power, even though he said it should be fine. But that's another thing, another reason as to why we never got to see the true full power of Sukuna. But like full power, true Sukuna, his actual body, all of his cursed energy, and he has the Kamutoke and the Hiten. Wow. What an incredible powerhouse that is. And like, just saying that makes you realize, yeah, that's why we didn't see it, because he would have killed everyone.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you know what's kind of interesting about Sukuna is that obviously, you know, he was born with probably more cursed energy than anyone, right, in history. Okay, and then he has a pretty decent technique on top of that. So it's kind of, I just find it interesting that he had those cursed tools in the first place. Because if we think to what Naoya said during his fight against, I think it was his fight against Chozo, he mentioned how, like, well, in his opinion, only like the weaker sorcerers tend to use weapons and swords and stuff like that. Obviously, Sukuna is anything but that. He's probably the strongest in the series. So I'm personally just wondering, like, why did he have them anyway? He probably could have blitzed everyone of his era without them. You know, why do you think he used them in the first place?
I just think he was trying to optimize everything and just be the ultimate sorcerer. I mean, that's why he has the mouth in his stomach. That's why he has the 4 arms. It was always to just optimize sorcery and how to fight against other sorcerers. Essentially become unbeatable. Utilizing everything that he can. Like, I don't really think Sukuna had that mindset of like, oh, you're weak if you do this, or you're weak if you use that. He was like, okay, let's see what you got. Do everything you can to try to defeat me. I mean, yeah, he'll trash talk you and say that you're lesser or whatever, but it's like, hey, you know, if you got a gun, straight up use a gun. I don't care. Because like with his 4 arms, he's, you know, as we saw, he's at a severe advantage because he could use Hollow Wicker Basket, you know, holding together the hand seal for that, defending himself from domains. And then the other arms, he's just free to do whatever else he wants. But in an actual fight without the domain expansions, he just has Hiten in one arm, Kamutoke in the other, and then his 2 other hands are just, you know, using hand seals or punching you or, you know, whatever. It's just so ridiculous. It's just unfortunate that we never got to see it.
Yeah, but you know, we never got to see it. We got something like 98%. I feel like we almost got to see his full potential.
You think Hiten was just that extra 2% at the end there?
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, I don't even think he like needs those weapons. Like Sukuna, even without those, blitzes pretty much everyone in the series. You know, at his full potential.
Yeah, I know. I talked about this last, I don't know, 2 years ago at this point. Wow. That Heian era, or the prime Sukuna, probably could have defeated Gojo without having the 10 Shadows. Like, yeah, of course, the 10 Shadows allowed him to develop the World Cutting Slash to overcome Limitless, but given everything else he had, especially domain amplification, which he was just using anyway against Gojo, I think it just would have been a matter of time. But I know that's probably really controversial to some people, but...
Yeah, it's a little bit controversial to me as a Gojo fan as well. Well, the thing about Gojo is, like, obviously Infinite Void is so unique in that it's like the one domain that's almost untankable. Like, obviously, you know, you can use domain amplification to kind of like mitigate it a little bit, but the way it works with the info going to your brain, that's not something you can just tank. You can't just take it. You know, you have to use domain amplification. And I feel like if for a second, even if for 1 second, Sukuna, you know, let's say didn't turn that on straight away, honestly, even in his best form, could he survive that? All that information?
Oh, I'm not saying that. No, I'm Infinite Void is killing pretty much anyone ever. Like, I think that was like the implication during their fight. That's why, you know, the whole fight revolved around who was getting hit with their domain first, especially with Gojo. Like, yeah, we saw that you can survive Malevolent Shrine, but there's no way you're taking on a full-blown Infinite Void. Like, it's probably the strongest domain expansion ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for this discussion. We just wanted to talk about the missed opportunity of seeing the full power of Sukuna in the series. But yeah, that's my boy Turtle Quirk. Haven't collabed with him in a while. Check out his channel. He's doing some awesome Invincible content, which I'm very jealous of. I'll have the link in the description. You can check out Turtle's channel. I know you guys like Invincible. I do too. So yeah, have a great day, guys. See you in the next one.
See ya.